Hi everybody, I've recently got my Einstar rocket and today I'm going to be scanning the metal dash side of a HQ Kingswood dash. I'm recreating or I am creating a dash insert to house an IC7, a Haltech IC7 and later a UC10 versions. It's got the client logo on the side here and a slot for the radio and some of the original parts still in there. Because I've not had a quality scan of the inside, the metal framework of the dash, I've struggled a little bit to get the alignment of some of the bolt holes for the HQ dash itself. So fortunately, the client was able to pull out his dash and lend it to me. And what I've done as I angle down is I put some markers on it, as you can see, and put a few little prisms with markers on them you can see on the table, and I'm going to use the my Rockit to scan this object, and I'm going to show you how it works and the kind of quality that we can get hopefully. So the Einstar or the Rocket's already connected. It's connected in a wired mode this time because I had it on the charge, so I just thought I may as well leave it. So we'll create a new project. We'll call it HQ dash. Yep, we'll get rid of that. Confirm. We're going to be in laser mode. And one of the things I really want to get are this screw holes here, 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 and here. So I'm going to switch to single laser for those, but I'm going to do the majority of it in standard laser mode. Because we're using markers, I've left it in marker mode, which you can see on the screen. It's 1/2 mil accuracy. Let's just be crazy and go down to 0.3 of a mil. Let's see how that goes. We'll apply that. So we're going for quite high resolution, and at this probably overkill for what I'm doing, but because I've had a bit of troubles getting things aligned, I really want to make sure it's absolutely bang on. So we're going to start our preview, and you can see now that it's picking up the markers and it is ready to go. On the left hand side there are some green boxes, and as I move away they go blue. If I get too close they'll turn to an ambery kind of or orange color. That's the indicators of distance. So let's hit scan and we will just get cracking, and you can see it's showing up pretty well straight away, picking up all those markers. So the black surface is taking a bit longer to go blue, and the blue is an indicator of that there's enough detail in the scan in that section. That's a good result. So just going to run back along here, make sure we get everything. And you can see I could probably be a little bit closer. Just want to make sure I have all the markers in view, or enough markers in view, sorry, to ensure that I don't lose tracking like that. You can see it's picking up these markers in the corner there, coming down this way. It should start to see the ones on the table. That's good. So we can go to there. You can see I'm getting 90 frames a second in this connected or wired mode, which okay, so one of the things I said I really wanted to ensure was that I got these screw holes. So by holding down the middle button for 2 seconds, you can see I've switched to parallel lines. This is really good for deeper holes and really fine detail. So we'll just go along it's lost a bit of tracking. Carefully there. Make sure I get the placement of those screw holes really, really clearly. Probably need to be a little bit closer. Just go back and forward over that for a second. Yeah, so I probably shouldn't have gone quite so detailed because it means that it needs to be closer. And if I need to be closer, you need to put more dots on. Yep, you can see. So the reason I'm losing tracking a little bit is I've set it to be essentially too high resolution for the number of tracking dots I've got. But I'll muddle through. We'll get there. Okay, so we're going to hold it for 2 seconds. Switches to the cross line mode. And let's just really get in there. Make sure we're getting as much of this background detail as we can. It's a bit hard to get at, but that's okay. For my purposes, I'm not recreating or printing this piece. I'm going to be making something to fit the space so I can get away with a little bit of a messy scan, you could say, at times, as long as I've got the primary details that I need. Let's come around this side. All right, so before we mesh this, we want to get rid of all the extra detail that we just don't need. Okay, so there's a lot there. So one of the things that can be helpful, if you switch it to orthogonal view or orthogonal view, so you can get a nice alignment, and you can use the line tool, hold down shift, and just draw a line through there. That's selected a whole heap. Let's get rid of that. I like the lasso tool. Just start getting in there and removing all these extra bits and pieces that we just don't need. So as you can see, I mean, the performance was really good. It'll go a little bit slower in the wireless mode. I think I was getting 55 to 60 frames a second when I was doing a test previously, which is still very, very usable. Get all this out. I like to delete as I go rather than selecting lots and then trying to delete a large amount. Just gives me more options with the undo feature. So if I do accidentally delete something I didn't want, it gives me more options, and it just makes it easier for me to see what I'm doing and how close I'm getting to completing the task. So there are a few floating parts. Let's just change the angle so I can get to them. And look at everything from as many different angles as you possibly can, so you just don't miss bits that you need to get rid of. Again, at this stage, taking your time will save you effort and more time in the long run. See, I just missed a little bit there, and you can see the sections I haven't quite captured, but that's for my purpose. That's fine. If I was doing, if I really needed to recreate this section, the frame, I would need to scan it from multiple angles. I'd need to do the back, and then I'd align those various scans, which would, in my experience so far, work pretty well. And you get a pretty good result. For me, don't need all that, so I can afford to be a little bit rough. The better the cleanup, the better the result. Don't really need all, oopsie. So again, undo. And that's something that I like to do, is make sure that I delete as I go, so I have lots of undo options. Don't do what I've done and hit cancel edit instead of undo. That's frustrating because then you've got to do the whole thing again. All right, so that's done for now. So we'll keep that. We'll hit tick for yes, and we'll see how this comes out. Okay, so we have the scan, the point cloud, and generate our point cloud. So after doing all the editing, I have now got to my final point cloud. I don't want to delete it. I'm now up to the meshing part of the process. You can see it's looking pretty tidy. Those screw holes that I really wanted to capture are nice and clear. And these sections at the back here are where are slots for the dash. So having them accurate is good. So let's mesh it. Okay, so we now have our mesh. You can see key things for me were the positioning of these holes and these screw holes along here. The good thing with the laser is it's got a bit of ability to do depth really nicely, and it's only 6.5 million triangles, which is pretty big, but at this point in time my computer can handle it, and I really want to make sure that I have those holes accurate. Probably could reduce it, but I might do that in other software. So at the moment this has come out really, really nicely. I mean, you can see the detail in the screws. Can we see? Yeah, tiny bit of the thread picked up, but I really wasn't close enough to get all that detail. Even this back corner that had a bit of difficulty with the black surface, that's worked out pretty well. So I've got the shape, the curve, all the features I need to tweak my the dash insert I'm making to make it fit spot on, and then we can print it and test it later. So let's confirm that. Right, so simplification. Let's just see, we don't need quite so many, so we might drop it down. Let's just see what happens if we, I mean, if we drop it down 30%. Make sure that the screw holes are still clear, which they are. Fantastic. That's good. Everything's there where I need it. That's done a pretty good job. So I'll confirm that. And, oh, sorry, we click on the export scan, save it locally. All right, we drag it in. All right, so it's obviously my settings in Blender are not spot on, but that's come out pretty good. I hope you have got something out of this little tutorial. We're learning together, but it's pretty amazing product. As you can see, the scan resolution is really good. I've got a little bit of the thread in there, and this is not the maximum settings. As you saw when I was scanning, I could have been closer, and with a few more tracking dots or more features, I could have afforded to get closer with the scan to get even higher resolution, but I don't need it. And this has picked up the shapes and the edges pretty crisply, which is bang on what I need, again, to align to the core features that I need. Thank you for watching.